The purpose of this video is to show how to double or triple the attendance at Sun and Fun. This video is for those who can and should implement the changes necessary to make this happen. My guess is that it would be the leadership at EAA and AOPA that should get involved. They claim to be advocates of GA and should be motivated to solve a big problem that has a simple solution. The problem is that it takes many hours to get into Sun and Fun. I'm now turning the corner at Medulla Road and Pipkin Road, and we are now westbound on Pipkin. The waiting time for those at that corner is just under a half hour. Everyone we see in line will be waiting for much longer. When I arrived, I had 1¼ miles of waiting, which took me an hour and 45 minutes. I used to come to Sun and Fun every year, starting over 10 years ago. I quickly realized that I couldn't come on the weekends because the waiting line would be too long. This meant I would have to take a vacation day from work. I also found that I had to get up very early to make the hour-plus drive from my house to Lakeland to try to get there before the line got long. One year I drove over the night before and stayed at a motel so I could beat the long lines. I had scheduled a demo flight in a Lancer and I didn't want to risk missing it due to not being able to get in. I had already put down a deposit for the flight. The last time I came to Sun and Fun was about 4 years ago. I came on a weekday and got up really early. When I got there, the line was over a mile long and I made a U-turn and went back home. The reason I mention this is that I want to make the point that the long lines are causing the attendance to be reduced. This year I decided to suck it up and wait it out. I thought it might take about 45 minutes, but it took an hour and 45 minutes. The people you see here will be waiting well over 2 hours. By the end of the line it could be as long as 5 hours, although they may be moving faster due to all the people ahead of them who just give up. I've tried to figure out why this problem has not been solved in all these years. After I throw out the conspiracy theories about how someone is trying to sabotage GA or prevent Sun and Fun from outcompeting Oshkosh, I came up with a more reasonable hypothesis. I'm guessing that the leaders don't know about the problem. They arrive by airplane or show up when the lines are not yet long and bypass those short lines by being let in through a side gate. Then they spend the day looking at all the happy faces of those who did get in, not seeing those still waiting in their car. I am hoping that by seeing this video, someone will finally look into fixing the problem. Another hypothesis I have is that the leaders do know about the problem, but don't think there is a solution. It is at this point that I'm happy that we went to the moon, because I can now say, well, if we can go to the moon, then we can solve a simple parking problem. Actually, I have some insight as to how to solve the problem. There are 2 bottlenecks. The first is getting the cars into the parking area. The second is getting the tickets sold. It may be that the parking people figure there's no need to speed up the parking because those people will just have to wait longer to get their tickets. And the people selling the tickets don't realize that they need to double or triple their number of windows because the people don't arrive that fast, but they would if the parking had been done more quickly. 12 years ago, they had 2 parking areas, and the bigger parking area had 2 ways to enter. This meant that those arriving had 3 entrances to choose from. Now there is only 1 parking area and only 1 way to get into it. Also, 12 years ago, the people directing the traffic would wave on those arriving to hurry up. Now they just let people slowly trek on in, leaving large gaps in the traffic. Here we're turning northbound onto County Line Road. Both bottlenecks need to be eliminated simultaneously. This will result in double or triple the attendance. If this is too many people, then we can just extend the show to more days, or make it twice a year instead of just once a year. With the extra money, you can afford to throw down some gravel in the parking area. This will also help people to park more quickly. I see this all as win-win-win. Someone just has to make the decision to take action. One other thing that needs to be done is to advertise that the problem has been fixed. I imagine that many people like me won't be going back because they don't like the long lines. They need to know that the long lines have been eliminated, so they will go back to going to Sun and Fun every year. Finally, if you can't fix the problem, then please rename the show from Sun and Fun to something that doesn't have fun in the title. I think this is misleading. This is all I have to say. If you want to see the end of the line, then keep watching for another 2 minutes or so. Please realize that there are other roads full of waiting cars that I didn't drive past. There are several roads leading to the 1 parking entrance, and I have only shown the one that I used.